There were many things on my mind as I traveled to this village this morning, thinking about our well-being. You mustn't get quiet of the winak we said. So in stem winak was a quietstems. Kilanen be lanakot la hekams. In Mr. Uga Kabuja Lacha and Melk'wala. When I was a little boy, I grew up in this village, and Guilford, like many of you, and Hopetown. And I used to see the strength of our old chiefs. I'm going to name a few of them because they made an impression on my mind forever. Tom Dawson was one of them that impacted my life. And I remember Kyodi, Lugustislas, and Oman Baba, and others. I still remember all those great chiefs. And I remember those old chiefs who still had authority and power and strength within them. And it was because of the strength of these old chiefs, these leaders, that our communities also had strength. So as I came on the plane coming this way this morning, I thought about that. I wonder what happened to us. Like you stop in the kluma weosilaga, like you stop in the is olam nikens mayaklape, shaklape, kalkaposhe. The question is not the Musgamagw. I don't know what happened to us. It seems that we have to struggle to maintain any respect for one another. It seems that we have to struggle to gain any kind of unity, to work together. Those are the things I thought of this morning, and this is what I know. This I know, that what happened was that our whole institutions disintegrated, and we started not to respect and recognize those things. And that's why I'm really grateful. So I'm grateful that we are here. I don't pretend to have any answers. But that's why we're here together today, this morning, and tomorrow, to look for those answers together, because not one of us has all the answers. The other thing that I know in my heart, for as long as I live, you are my relatives, you are my loved ones. So that maybe we can return to some of the ways of our ancestors, some of those great chiefs and leaders and noble ladies who came before us. That's all I have to say for now.
I was filled with pride. And God then doesn't have to get a photo. The country that was in now. Here was some matter and did most of my things. New Balance Statues started out by that and fire healers. Then Mount Padani, you have used. Hail for your squad, Passa. I was envious before I went to St. Mike's. some part of what we're supposed to do. What that tradition is. I was talking to my sister about a month ago, and she told me to tell the people that she couldn't take a chance in coming up because she's not that well anymore. My sister Winkler, she's 84 years old. And she would have given us some thoughts if she came. We have the dances, we have the songs. Like it's neat to go us and natural. Like Lenny said, I often think about it. What happened to this village when we became one as the 4 tribes. The cooperation that happened in those years. The church was built, the soccer field was enlarged, all was built. That's what we can do when we get together and don't fight. Like Lenny said, when we become one, we're stronger. And I'd like to pass on another thing that some of you probably don't know. In our heyday, long before us, I don't know how far back, but we have always been 4 tribes. And my cousin Bill told me one time, in our heyday, as the 4 tribes, there were 1,600 of us. That's right. For your information, there were 1,600 of us as the 4 tribes. So I just want to pass on that. And that's what I gender, listening to what has been already spoken tonight, we can enlarge that. We can talk about a lot of things, not just what's on there. I was thinking about that when I was sitting there listening to people talk. It's up to us to teach what we know, to bring it forth. There's not many of us left. You know, it's hard for me to imagine that I'm one of the elders now. Doesn't seem like that many years ago when I used to play soccer here twice a day. In the afternoon, after supper. So like I've said, we're proud people. You know, I'm glad that I belong to the Muslims. The story over here tells the story how we got as a Muslim. Thank you.
Musgamagw was the sacred war that belongs to this valley. But we relented and admitted other tribes in. And there is no way when I tell Pauline, she married out, I married out, no way people are going to tell them, you're not Musgamagw, because Mary just take us to faraway places. They're still Musgamagw no matter where they are. So how are we going to get away from including them in our tribes? Where they're born here, they belong here. Look at that, we are happy today in Stuttgart, looking at those pictures. Wars and all kinds. So well, there's gallons of witnesses. I just want to say that I'll fix you back. They always get some scarcity, but let us accomplish something.
Sharing with you my experiences. but it is up to you to make that choice which way you're going to go. Listen to the song, Punuk. I've heard that from since I was a little kid. And so that to me has always been the role of elders, is to create options for you. And you take the responsibility for your life, what you do with it. The Kaya stars. And so that was one of the little concerns I had about this process. Is since tequila, where do you want to go with it? And that's something that is very important that we need to look at. At the end of 2 days, what do we want to look at? We're all related. And so there's no one time do I think a Kingcome, because that's not part of the teaching. One time you become a Kingcome and people accept you as that. And then you know that on a personal level. But you stand up and say, I'm a chief. No, you don't say that. I'm sharing with you some of my teachings. Okay? So I never go anywhere and say, I'm chief away from Kingcome Inlet. That's crazy. And you only do that in the context of where we're at in the big house. Right? And you don't gather come, you only do questions as new meetings. And that we are in the same boat. So I can look around the room and say, yeah, I am related to all of you in one form or the other in different contexts. And I appreciate that. Because my strength is your strength, and your strength is my strength. And my weaknesses are your weaknesses. And and vice versa. And so we need to really take a look at what are the issues that will help us overcome our weaknesses so that we become stronger people.
Kalau kuat nak kaina nak kerjakan apa kayuhan om ya kita osmat ini 12 emis please ala is nak pamkah kental kurang kuasa wib maya kibat wib and please ala is nak pamkah Khus la khus khso khas kuhi da sustela ko khas ila khaya sa sa usqa heis ta como que quasi khas me hawa khita hawa khitsenkin ya adi jala pa ya khas kuhi da asi lo saya hisli sa khansawi na kuise khaju kuise sa ta matse wa holo sa yu me sota amni sa hayata ke man wa o sa khai akhlo sa ha mi silano siswa qua tu hem akhla man tu ko klakas akhla sa kho wa nana ke da hayat quick ala sa si hem isms Kanzler to eat up motas. Since all school out was that. While I was the sharp black and dog quite in a then I ate the master ate a cock and dog like wiki was a touch. I must say, he really spiky the mouth. Cause squeaky the asty. Cause we let me nana get is haha o mekwihiti wa khos no kyanam talo ta matse wada holo sa wada ki Luida Kayakitas. Wako Hosnikanam Dala Kohasakala Iachra. Oh, what we see. Achlas is Iasu. Achlas is Tarkla. Mijn doel was die. En mijn doel was wiki als een skoskola. Toen was het meest door een kwartaal jaren kan mogen niet gaswoord. Achre. Luida wiki was een slag wat juiste. Niet gas onwoorgas weg wiki wie dat nou wiki was. Was kasonana riget wacht jaren het was het niet nog dat ik yet I get this something the youth the eastern west can eat sickly west. Or like more become simply castle can yet I get there. As I make west that's not catty. The Manika Bobby is west near Hachler. Eerst een tool was like what was. Als ik daar zo goed was als is kakampadis, de kakampadis. William Scarlett, Joanna, William Snowyam Nuka, het Mrs. Castaway. Is het niet echt lachen, niet gachelen. Ja, moet ik aankwijken als ik wil geven. Eerst was ik hem kooksten is. Iets is dat jij zo quick kwijt als een niet nooien. Dan moet ik ook gaan wachten.
Pelkästään Musgamagw. En Musgamagw oikea jalkasin nokhaen. Juttuus. Se mihin juttuus. Ne missä jalapaa on mitä kins kuilatliina pas lappulikin se molvatlikin sadan smolvat. En missä stiache Kapi voor kanskjachens, sinds goudels kanskjachens. Ayuk la voor de ginginan. Papis eigenlijk lacha respect. Kan ayustema moeten tassen kanam. En poja ope onkel. His family is. La Maya and his tsatsi. En poikia on uskojatte. Jumisla nulla kapain kanam. Jesus tsatsi ja tuos cousin. Häpis Maya. En kessa loi jahan sekin pahana kuikens. Maya kila. Vuosda siis kutus. En kuitenkaan was nyt pahana. Kuola antaa tässä siis kutus. On my words. Jualalla. That's what the old people used to say. Respect. Be kind to one another. The oldest in the family is supposed to be respected. You listen to the advice coming from that older person. Case in point 2 is Johnny Scow. My dad and Uncle George, Bobby, respected that man because he was the oldest. They listened to him. As people in those days listened to the chiefs, they weren't just chiefs. You go to them for advice because they had knowledge and wisdom. So that's what we have to go back to today.
Nako kuikeras, som ahtanan kurat matpareena ja lähtee vahvamaan kesken enistihteesti. Jatkuva tässä doktoratka olen sen kielillä Euroopan kieli. Mutta komputer kan jag eftermåt med work somewhere. Tomorrow they don't tomorrow is the cook. That means the girl love what they Lana puts a seed that I give to my sunrise not give to that way. The aflas with the hall, the whole body. I'm don't know with the hall. Jukkila Elsa Dzawadaenuxw Elders de var getagda och så slagen och samma. Jag kan mot en annan tidning så jag guess I don't know. So but so small part of then how to all the if there was a tape recorder to take the wicked started. No, there's no higher, there's not a wicked. Paras niin nopeita. Siinä kun poikkeus tulee tänne, jos voipaisuus siis poikkeus. Ja poikkeus ostopalvelusta. Nämä he ovat tänätä. He ovat nykyis paras ja lahja. Nämä ei nokkeita. Paras on he hyhtyä. Missä on lahjata. Se poistaa naala. Ja sitten kuitenkin Midwife Malcolm's people bring out. Ei ole säästöä. I'm the one.
So Hamza, rest of no what I say. You see the dress See, I really like all of the things that Alice said. Those are the kind of things we want to hear so that we can begin to learn the things that we're supposed to learn. For those of you who don't understand Melk'wala, I think something that she said just really was on the mark. Especially explains to us that we're captives of this great circle, whether we describe it as a potlatch or a culture or a tradition, we're captives in it. There's no way out for us. And it's really said in a positive way, because what she said was that all of us here have a first ancestor and we belong to clans, and we have grandfathers and grandmothers, so that our sense of being flows from a long history like everybody else, and it's really important to keep reinforcing that. And that's why all of our postcards used to always say, Ishene Sinati, the Sassa, the Kingdom. That's why our chiefs, our old people, always said the purpose was for our children. And it's important for our older people to keep reminding us, and for the younger people to keep learning that. And that's how we sustain ourselves, our pride and our dignity and our respect, and knowing who we are. And so that's why we're here, so we can keep learning.
And they tell them what is being said about them. And tears used to just come in Johnny Scout's eyes, roll down his cheeks. And he would nod his head. He didn't say, I'll get him, I'll pay him back. He didn't say that. He's niet om te aangela een woord dat laat ik je geest Kupinai to Isatia. Have we Sala or Kajikama? You become humble. When you become a chief. I'm going to tell you guys right now, you hear it from my mouth. He's a Gigamaya. I'm not a chief, and I never will be. I've always told my children that. I'm not a chief. My father was a chief. My Uncle George was a chief. The hereditary chief was Johnny Scar, the oldest of the fifth, you know. Now we talk about hereditary chief. There are so many hereditary chiefs now. It's not right. There are only 4 hereditary chiefs of the 4 tribes. You people remember that. You young people remember that. And that is the truth. A lump comes in my throat when I talk about the totem pole. That is our story. That's why we're 4 tribes.
Willa Musgamagw-Dzawadaenuxw what's the mistake? Let me discuss I we just get who we are, why are we here, where we come from.
In the beginning, there were 2 wolves up this river in Kingcome. The older is Kwilili. They were half humans and half wolves. And his brother named Kwilili, the younger man. After they'd been spent so many years together up this river, the young fella decided that he's going to find his own river and a valley where there's all the food that they can take care of for our living. And he went and he found Wakeman's River. And he stayed there. He looked the river over, went up and down. Then when he was satisfied with what he found, he came back to visit his brother and told him that he had found a river of his own. And when he came back to his brother asked him, well, he told him, he said, I found a river. I have my river now. And his brother asked him, the river sounds like, the bird sound. And he said, Hawala, Hawala. Hakwamis Elders. Your next generation is going to be Aquamis. And he in turn asked his brother, what does your bird sound like? And Kawadilakala said, Zatwala, or Dzawadaenuxw Elders. Your after generation will be Dzawadaenu. The beginning of the Kingcome was a man named Kingcome. Yeah, the Kingcome was a supernatural. He can change himself into anything he wants. And he had people that he was leading. That people come from that beginning of the what we call hereditary. It's where the Musgamagw-Dzawadaenuxw people have followed that road from that beginning. That we call them Johnny Scow, Peter Scow, George Scow today. And we have young fellas here come from that very same people. That's where the Kingcome people come from. Their beginning, that's their beginning. The Kwayastoms, name of that village. He's haircut that. The reason why it's called Kwayastoms is you don't go right by it. The meaning of that Kwayastoms. Then we go to Hopetown. There was a wolf there too, that I understand the beginning. And close to that place there was the eagle, not far apart from the wolf in that place they called Mackenzie Sound, which our people call Klecha, and the mountain, and they call it Mount Stevens. They call it Kwe. That's where the people lived. I'll go ahead of my story a little bit there. During the flood, they were on top of that mountain. That's how they survived. But back down to the village with the beginning of the people, there was people around already. Yeah, there was a big overgrown a man, a wolf, Oliganji. He couldn't move around. All he did is sit there and face outward to the water. And his people looked after him. Our people call it Kingcome, that place. That's why it's called Kingcome. You're only facing one way. And that's that four that I know, the four tribes that I know of the beginning of the stories I heard from the old people.
And I'm really happy that I'm a strong person. Every morning, or every night and every morning, I say a prayer and I ask for wisdom and strength to carry on. I know that I will never lose it. If the residential school couldn't do it to me, nobody else can. Nobody. No matter how tough things get, where I live now in Alert Bay, nothing could knock out my self-esteem and my pride. Because I know I'm a Native person. I know where I come from. I come from the 4 tribes, the Musgamagw tribes. I know that's where I'm from. And I think that's what makes a person strong, of knowing who they are. And the white people, the Department of Indian Affairs, and the missionaries try to take that away from us.
This morning, this guy, the questions are potential. I liked it. The cat that you had a kiloche. Like it's been like he walking this career. That is pretty that's to manufacture shop on this Hesse. He's to have which speaks the matter, which speaks. And so his question looking at the people what happened when I grew up here too? And I loved this place. I loved the people. I loved everything about it. I saw the old chiefs and their power and their authority, and I saw the families and their courage and their strength, and everything was good about our communities. I'm not just isolating Guadeloupe, but because we're here. Somehow, all of the things have broken down, all of the institutions, all of the processes that used to make us strong have broken down. And one of them is this, one of the things that divides us. For whatever reason, many of us moved away. And for us, we really want to continue to be part of where we're from. We always will be. We speak a language, we feel the same way, we eat the same kind of food. But for some reason, there seems to be a division among us between those who stayed home and those who aren't here. And we tend to forget that it wasn't our own doing that divided us. So we've got to learn to forgive each other. You've got to forgive me for not living here, for going somewhere else when I had too many choices, didn't have too many choices. Because it doesn't matter where we live. If you got an ancestor, a Nuyen, a beginning, you're going to die being part of that clan, part of that language, part of that culture, part of that tradition, part of the song, part of the dance. We've got to see that. And we can't continue to allow government to divide us, or the new ways, the mama us. We've got to make our strength, our power, our authority strong again, so that we don't divide each other. You know, people living off reserve sometimes really are hurt. And a lot of us want to be here, want to be back. We wish we could. Sometimes it doesn't seem there's no way back. When you think of your children, just like you think of your children, their well-being, their future, how they feel about themselves, who they are, we're still the same Musgamagw-Dzawadaenuxw that we were before we left. And I'm really glad I brought that up. It's important. Because those are the things that divide us. Those are the things that sadden the soul. Those are the things that bring tears and division. And they shouldn't, they don't have to. And I think it starts by us forgiving each other wherever we live. Learning to make the connections and to love each other.
We call Northsola. Northsola means respected person. It's a Northsola. And that's what most of what they call chiefs today were. They were sons of respected people, therefore we respect them, because that is the law of my people, that we respect. In the olden days, they would fight. The native people would fight in a potlatch, maybe break a copper for somebody. That's what they did. But as soon as they came out of the big house, they were friends again. They never held grudges. It was just, that's the way it was. If you fought, you forgot about it as soon as you left your... I always said the big houses were our churches. Because once you went in there, the respect came. Everything had its origin in respect.
It's really something that a lot of the teaching, one of the teachings that I make jokes about, people joke about me, I joke about them. But one of the main things that I always remember, that before you laugh at anybody, learn how to laugh at yourself first. Because someday you're going to get hurt, you know. Okay, you don't do that. We're all the same. Like we're Bakum. We're not Quaguls, you know, we don't Quagulala, we're Bakum Jala. We don't Quakwala. Bakum Jala. Bakum. And the teaching that when our Creator put this earth, He put everything here, what we're going to need. Animals, birds, and all the things, water. Then they put us on here, that you're going to use that to live off that. You take care of it. Just take what you need. You follow? You don't do things wrong to it. You see a lot of places, a lot of old young people today, even here, you don't go chop those trees down just to make it pretty. If you do that, it's wrong. Well, let's take a look. I'm going to get on this. It's like they blast our mountains, they divert our rivers, they flood our valleys, they pollute our oceans and lakes, because God didn't know what He was doing. I know, but God didn't. That attitude. You follow me? He didn't know what He was doing. I'm going to put a road through here. He's dumb. That's why I don't believe in that God. And we don't go all this cut down just to please people. That's our Creator's workplace. We might need that. We'll never know. And all the transplanting, all trees and everything is put there. That's where our Creator wanted it. We get animals over here, birds, we put them in cages and all that stuff. And we kill them off and they raise their cows, so we buy it. That really gets me. We used to trap up here, hunting up here, up in Wakeman River, and nothing. I went there in '58, Sam and I. Just what made me cry. There's nothing. There's just a bare bough. Like the old people, folks, her dad, you know, she come from Mackenzie Sound, Hopetown. They had a railroad there. We went to meet them down the beach when they arrived. And the first thing he told the people, we all go to meet them, you know. And he says, he said, do you know, he said, our mountains are showing their bones now? It's all clear, cut off. Because everything in our life, you know, everything out there, our people, it's all chained together. Every living creature. You know, sometimes you see a little animal, and what we like to do when we see a bug here or whatever, we go and, that was a no-no. That thing has got a family. He's out there looking for something for his family. Take him out. You don't go to squish him up. Yeah, there's nothing. We don't know. They all got feelings. Every creature has a feeling. They come from somewhere, like all of us.
And they have a purpose.
That's where the old saying too is, like when we break things apart, it's all chained together. The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. We chop that off, then nothing can come put it together again. It's really awful, you know. And that's what I used to try to teach my boys. I used to take them out hunting. I used to bring them up here. We go up the river with him. I laugh at him. He was about 7 years old. We went up the river, you know, across the sand. We got off there. Yeah, the river was nice like this, high. And he come to me, he said, "Dad, do you know what we forgot?" I said, "No, I think we got everything." He said, "We forgot to bring some water." You see that simple little thing? He didn't know that we live in the salt water. And Uncle Demas went down the beach there, you know, they wait up to the well, that gumboot is good. He went down and he looked at me, "It's good." You see how simple? We don't know little things. We just look at big things. Every little thing, every big thing comes from little things.
They had respect for each other. We are fast losing that because respect, integrity, family pride was a great thing to many people. We are gradually coming back to that. We are making mistakes, but maybe the mistakes will be cleared up when these children grow up. It will be. We can go back to the respect that our people had for each other.